January has a very different feel to it. Everything's quieter, slower, everything feels paused, like it hasn't quite decided what's next yet. This was meant to be the week I finally set off. After months of planning, packing, waiting, this was supposed to be the start of a 3-month journey around the entire coast of mainland Scotland. But Vanlife has a habit of reminding you who's really in control. It's the first week of January, one of the coldest mornings I've had so far, the kind where the van windows freeze solid overnight and everything just feels that little bit more vulnerable. When you live like this, your van isn't just transport, it's your home, your workspace, your safety net, and if something's not right, you feel it immediately. Today was meant to be about preparation, packing everything I'll need for the next 3 months, making sure the van's ready, and finally pointing the wheels towards the coast. But just as you think you're ready to go, sometimes life slows you down again. This is the reality of van life. It's the adventure before the adventure even begins. Right, so let's get packed. First stop is my storage unit. Get rid of some of my spring-summer stuff that's still lingering in my van and get some winter things and just decide what I'm taking and what I'm not. I need really for it to all last me around about 3 months, and I need to decide what I'm taking and what I'm not. What tents am I taking? What hiking gear am I taking? What fishing gear I'm going to be taking with the different seasons and things like that. And that's what I'm doing here now in my storage unit, just deciding exactly what I'm going to be taking, and then I'll get the van packed and show you my process, because it has been honed over the last sort of 3 years, depending on the adventure, depending on the length of time that I'm going to be on the road for. You need to try and make it as simple as possible, really, for yourself, and try not overpack if you can, which is difficult. Okay, so this is what my van looks like packed, and it looks an absolute mess, but there is a method to my madness. Right, so I've unpacked everything just so you can see everything laid out. Okay, so there's my water tank, it's 125 litres, and I've just got some bits and pieces in there. Got my spinning rod, fishing rod, sitting there. There's a couple of seats there, a table, a fold-out table when I have company, and again, just some sort of general fishing stuff. And I've got some rolled up carpet there as well, just to put inside the van when I'm dog sitting. And it is quite a lot that I've got here. And the trick really to this, what I've found, when you're packing a van like this, the stuff that you're gonna need more regularly, have it at the door. You know, and stuff that you're maybe not gonna need, don't bother having it. I'm just gonna fit this camera, just because it'll give a sort of, more of a sort of point of view shot of what I'm talking about. So I've sort of got it classed into 2 bits. I've got my boxes that I've got various different stuff in them, and then I've got all my hiking gear and stuff, and there's a few things that are kind of mixed. Now the first thing that's going to go right at the back are these 4-ton jack stands. Now I got these recently off of out of Halfords, and they're just jack stands, so when I'm going to have to, at some point on this trip, change the brake pads in the van. So I've only got my normal jack, you know, if I'm changing a tyre or whatever. So these jack stands will just give me a little bit more protection in case the normal jack fails, if that makes sense. So I've got a couple of 4-ton jack stands in there for when that job happens. So I am going to have to take that with me. So that's going to go right at the back. Next up I have these boxes, and I got these boxes out of, I think it was B&Q, but you can stack them on top of one another. And this box here, essentially it's got some tools and stuff in it. So I've got a battery charger, I've got my jump cables, I've got some spare fuses for the leisure battery, some spare cables for the leisure battery. What else have I got there? That's a bus bar. And I've got my Brembo brake pads for the front and back as well, and just WD-40, just, you know, general sort of stuff like that, tools, because you do have to fix things as you go, especially with a van like this. I mean, the difficulty I've had with this van is it's not, what would you call it? Like, it's not custom built as such, or it is, but it was the people that owned it that built it before me. So I don't have, you know, I've had to figure out how they've made everything and how they've put it all together if there's an issue, if something goes wrong, to sort of do that fault finding myself, if that makes sense, rather than buying it off a professional van conversion place that can help you out if you're ever in trouble and things like that. So it's been a bit of a learning curve, certainly. But that just goes in the front and just slides in like that, right up against where the inverter is. And then this box goes on top, and this is just full of, basically, there's some mostly fishing stuff, camping stuff, fishing reels and lines, and a bit of camping food and smoking midge and some gas canisters and things like that for my burner when I do summit camps. And that quite handily just sits on top and it clicks in to place, which is really, really handy. So they won't move, they'll stay put. Next up is another sort of just general toolbox, and in this I've got, yeah, this is for one of my sets of calipers. I think this is, yeah, that's a sort of ratchet for the other calipers as well, just to wind back the piston. I've got hook and loop velcro in there, there's paint brushes, emergency puncture repair, just again, just lots of different bits and pieces, really. That's going to sit around about there. I won't need it too often. And in that gap, I also put my Blue Yeti solar panels in there as well. At this time of year, I'm never going to use them to charge my Blue Yeti. I'm just going to charge it using the cigarette lighter as I drive. And if I don't know, get into an Airbnb at any point or visit friends or anything like that, I can charge it using the wall plug. I don't charge it using the wall plug in the van because even though it charges quickly, it's got a hell of a draw on it, quite a big pull, and it uses quite a lot of your battery. So I don't bother with that. Next up is my, basically it's like an impact drill set, and I got it off Amazon, and you'll find it, if you go onto the description in this video, you'll see I've got an Amazon storefront link. So I've got one for, if you go to that, I've got one for Vanlife Essentials, and then I've got one for filming equipment. So all my filming equipment and everything that I use is on that, is on my storefront. And I put this on it recently. It's just basically an impact drill. It just means, you know, if I need to change a tyre quickly and it's cold, I'm not wrestling with a normal sort of wrench, if you like. I can do it quickly with this, get the tyres changed, and worst case scenario, there's a spare tyre underneath the van, and it means that I can lower that using that much, much quicker than doing it by hand, which is a total pain in the arse. I've had to do it once before, it takes ages, especially if it's kind of stuck. So that's just an additional little helper really, and especially when it's cold. I've got some motor oil here which just sits at the front, spare, and then I've got my, obviously for putting the oil in. Next up I've got my levelers, and I only got these recently really, and I really needed them when I was in Switzerland because a lot of the campsites there, they're not that great, and I will be roughing it quite a bit on this trip like usual. Now if I'm parked up in a place that's sort of, you know, it's not like an official park up, it's not an air, or it's not a campsite and stuff like that, I won't use these. And I think that's actually part of the outdoor access code, I think it is, because obviously there's a difference between wild camping and actually camping in a vehicle. It doesn't come under the same rules whatsoever. Wild camping is when you walk somewhere and you're basically camping in a tent. That's very different from car camping. And I think one of the rules, if you're parked up, say in a large lay-by or something like that, you're not to use levelers and get chairs out and start fires. And I mean, it's just stupidity that I even have to say that, but people do it and they ruin it for everyone else. But I don't use levelers in places like that, but I've got these just in case I need them if I go to like a campsite or whatever, if there's ones, with the ones that are open in the winter. But I've got these just in case I go to a campsite where it is a little bit uneven, somewhere maybe I've not been before or whatever, that allows overnight parking, but it's maybe just on a slope. I've got them just in case anyway, because it does help. It's not great when you're lying in your bed, you feel like you're away to roll out the back door, you know. So they just slot in there next to the water tank. I've just got a little drill here as well. Again, I just sort of keep this nearby. And then, oh, I'll put that up there. Fishing tackle, bag, seat, etc. Now, I've left all my fly rods because it's obviously not, it's breeding season for the trout and stuff like that, so I don't really do any fly fishing over the winter. But I will do, because I'm on the coast, I'll be doing a fair bit of sea fishing along the way and things like that, maybe trying to catch my dinner occasionally and stuff. So I've mostly just got my sea fishing gear. I mean, I've got my pike gear and stuff like that as well, but it's mostly sea fishing I'll be doing. So I've got two big 13-foot beach caster rods that are in the front at the moment as well. And that's the only 3 rods I'll be taking, those 2 beach casters and my spinning rod as well. And that's it really. That just sits in there like that. And then I've got my big 65 litre hiking bag. I think it's the 65, isn't it? AGS 65, I think. Yeah, it must be. Atmos AG 65, yeah. So this bag is just basically full of all my camping gear, my sleep system, various different stuff. I think my actual Jotner waterproof trousers and jacket and all that are in there as well, just down at the bottom. And that'll just sit basically on top. I've also got my smaller 30 litre Montaigne bag. I think it's 30. Yeah, 32 litre, and that's the one I would usually use for hiking. I need something as big as that generally because I need to get my drone, I need to get my tripod that camera's standing on. I've got 5-6 cameras to take with me. So I do require quite a bit. If I'm summit camping at any point, I'll use that one because I need to take all my cooking gear and sleep system and that as well. But generally speaking, that's my usual hiking bag. And I'm just going to slot that in there. And this hiking bag is just going to sit on top. It's quite simple. The only other thing... Oh God, it's muddy as hell here. I need to wipe that down. Oh, right, I'll do that after. The only other thing I've got, and again, it's just because it's winter and I'm going to be doing a bit of, you know, beach fishing. I've just got my sort of really thick IMAX cosy jacket and a big, again, IMAX kind of fishing bib, I think you would call it. Sort of big warm dungarees, and that just sits in there. And that's it. The van is packed and it looks a total mess, but again, I know where everything goes and I know how to get quickly to anything that I might need as well. And even if I need to get to the back, it really doesn't take, only takes a minute or so to actually do it. The only disadvantage you get if you have to come in here for something, if it's raining, your bed's going to get a little bit wet as well, but generally speaking, it's absolutely fine. So that's the back of the van packed. Let me take you inside and I'll show you how I prep for living in my van for 3 months over the Scottish winter. There's my fishing rod there. What I should say as well is all my tools that I might need quickly, they're all here in the front. So I've got just all my general sort of normal tools that I might need for quickly fixing something. And it just means that I've got them there, easy on hand as well. And I can't open the back door with my key because it's broken. So if my battery goes, like what happened recently, I can't get access to anything that's in the back. So I've got everything in the front now. I've got some screen wash there. I've just got, oh, that's a kettlebell. More motor oil. This would be the first one I would use. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, it's just a total mess in here. It usually is. As you take stuff in and out of the back, put it to the front, into the back, put it into the front. It's a constant juggling match. But I'll take you inside now. Oh, it's a bit dark, isn't it? Put the lights on. It's freezing out there, otherwise I would leave the door open. So, yeah, packing for the winter inside. Nice cosy sheets. Got a dead heavy mattress and mattress topper there. Sort of fleece sheets, they keep me really warm. Jammies and thick socks as well that I wear when I'm in the van. And packing for all my winter gear. So up here in the storage, I've just got camera gear. There's gloves, there's hats and things like that in here. There's a head torch that I can get here. Again, just camera stuff, big jackets, my, oh, what do you call it when you go for a cold dip? The big huge jacket, I can't remember the name of it, I always forget. And one important thing I've got up here as well, and again, just after my battery went dead recently, I've got myself what is basically a jumper. Got it off Amazon again, and it's basically a jumper, but it also acts as an inflator for the van's tyres. So it's a sort of double whammy. It's quite expensive, but the reviews are really good, and I keep that in the van again because, as I said earlier, when my battery went, I couldn't actually get under my bed to the back because my key fob wasn't working to open the back doors, and the lock is actually broken on my back door. So I was like, well, I've got all those tools, I've got those things. If I had a jumper in there, I wouldn't be able to get it anyway, or jump cables. So I'm gonna have to start keeping stuff in the front, which is why I got that tool bag and why that is up there as well. But again, it's just preparing for the winter's more about just stocking up on bits and pieces that you might need. For obviously me and my storage seat, I've got, oh, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I've got a cool bag there. I've obviously got a bit of bourbon, some whiskey. You can't see what's underneath. I'm not going to bother showing you, but it's basically composting material, some storage containers, some toilet paper, and some spare sort of like olive oil and washing up liquid for the sink and things like that. But that's my main sort of storage area for that type of stuff. And then my wardrobe, again, I'm just packing winter clothes. So it's mostly sort of hiking gear. Obviously my branded hoodies for wearing, a single pair of jeans. Yeah, just mostly sort of hiking gear and stuff like that. And just some t-shirts, my towels, microfiber towels. I've got some exercise equipment in here, got my vitamins as well, and spare fleece bedding. And then my cupboards, again, I've got all my medication and stuff like that up there. A few bits and pieces. I haven't stocked up much. That's all my glasses and cups and stuff. Ice cubes. I haven't stocked up a huge amount. I don't really have much there. There's eggs and stuff like that, because I am going to buy locally on this trip. Like, there's virtually nothing in my fridge whatsoever. As you can see, And the only thing I've really got is in my freezer, and that's just a bunch of bait for fishing. I need to defrost that. Yeah, I'll need to get that done. And like an ice pack in case I get injured, and I usually have ice cube blocks there as well. I just don't have any of them filled up right now. So yeah, it's just simple things really, just things that are going to be able to keep you warm. And the bedding makes a huge difference, especially at night, because the heater's not going to be on at night. I would never leave a diesel heater on at night because it could be dangerous. Obviously all my clothes and pants and socks and stuff like that, and all these like storage things to stop them falling out all over the place as well. And my pantry dish, I'm going to have to stock that up. I need some more lentils. I've got plenty of pasta, there's some rice there and some oats. Some porridge, and yeah, just some bits and pieces there, some flour, tea, Nutella for some waffles, some sugar, etc. And like I said, I'm going to be buying local as I go, so that's the whole point of this really. I want to be buying as I go. I've stopped doing big shops and keeping, a week's worth of stuff in the fridge, because half the time I don't end up eating it. And I hate waste. So on this trip I'm going to be buying, if not every day, certainly only every couple of days in advance, because I'm going to be using local fishmongers, local butchers, local farm shops for sort of seasonal veg, all local produce as much as I possibly can. Obviously, if I want something a little bit more, exotic, like an Asian sort of style soup, like a chicken and noodle miso soup or a curry or something like that, then I'm gonna have to buy stuff elsewhere, as well. But for the most part, I'm gonna try and do that, and to help support local businesses and really promote a buy local message. That's the whole idea behind it. Anyway, almost good to go really. I'm gonna be catching up with family, some friends before I leave, of course, as well, and I'm just away to go and sort of do that now, and hopefully next week I can set off and start this amazing trip. Can't wait. Right, so I'm all good. I'm packed. I'm ready to go. But I'm just going to go and get something checked in the van, because the engine has been pinking for quite some time now. And you're not going to feel this and you're not going to hear it in this video. But what's happening right now is I'm cruising just over 50 miles an hour. Just around about 2,000 revs, there or thereabouts. And if I go up just a very slight incline, a very slight, not even a hill, and I have to, just press on the accelerator slightly just to keep that speed and keep the revs at that level, I'm getting a stutter. It's like an engine stutter. I don't know if there's if it's something, to do with the injectors, or the fuel pump, or, it could be something really basic, simple, or it could be something a bit more serious. And I'm about to do the entire coast of mainland Scotland. It's over 2,000 miles, and I'm going to be doing it during the winter months, up in the Highlands. So it's one of these things, do I just go for it, do I set off and put myself at risk and the van? And I'm trying to weigh up what the best thing to do really is here. And I always try and take the more sort of sensible option really, which is, let's just get it checked, get it diagnosed. I have no lights, I've got nothing coming up on my dash at all, but I think it's better just to go and get it checked before I set off and find out what it is. And hopefully, it's nothing too serious. See what it is. This trip's already been delayed. When I got ill, I got the flu at the start of December, and then obviously had the Christmas festive period with my family. I'm really eager to get going and start this road trip that I've planned. And this is all part of van life. It's all part of it really. I've been quite fortunate. My van's been treated me pretty well, to be honest, over the last 3 years. Don't get me wrong, I've spent a fortune keeping her on the road, but generally speaking, she runs really well. And I'm just conscious of the fact that I'm going to be, I'm not racing through this. I'm planning on this taking, the next 3 months really. Going up, maybe even possibly going up into April. So I don't want to push it. She's done a fair few miles now with this engine. On the clock, I've got 165,000 miles. So this engine's done around about 84,000. And this is the thing, when your van is your home and your home is your engine, you need to make these sort of decisions and these sort of calls, really. So I'm going to err on the side of caution. I have just got her booked into a garage in Glenrothes that specialise in electrics and diagnostics and things like that. So thankfully they can take me tomorrow. I'm going to go and get her checked out and just suss this out and see what it is, and kind of just take it from there, really. That's all we can do. Right, so that's the van in the garage then, and what do you do when your house is a van and it's a way of getting work done? Well, you need to stay somewhere. I have stayed in Airbnbs before, depending on where I've been in the country and things like that, but this garage is quite close to my parents' house, and it's always quite nice actually, being able to put the van into the garage here. My main mechanic's through here as well, and I get to spend a little bit of time with them, time that I wouldn't usually get when I'm travelling and vlogging and filming everything as I go. Really, it is my job now, so it's quite a nice sort of feeling. So I'm just sitting here editing up what would be now, as you watch last week's video, my film based from Lewis and Harris. I'm just finishing that up now. I've been editing it for the last day or so. So just finishing that up, and it always makes me laugh, all these old photos. I'll let you see a couple of them. Look, cheeky chops. But yeah, it's always quite funny seeing all these old pictures, and there's old pictures of my dad playing football and things like that as well back in the day. It's always nice. But yeah, it's just a case of waiting now. The van's going to be in overnight. And fingers crossed it's nothing too serious really, and that garage that are doing the diagnostics can actually fix it, and it's nothing more serious than that. So I'll keep you posted. See you tomorrow. Oh hey everyone, good morning. I've just picked up the van from the garage, and the good news is the van is running much better now. I'm not getting any pinking whatsoever, and it's not stuttering like it was previously. And it was a really simple fix actually. I fitted a TDI tuner to the van about 3 years ago. It was not long after I got it, just to try and give it a little bit more oomph. And I've basically just turned it off in the app, and all the noises have gone. The injectors will need bench tested, they will need checked, but it's not something that I need to do urgently. And there's a couple of other bits and pieces that I'm going to need done, but again, they can be done over time. It's nothing that I need to concern myself with at the moment. So I'm really looking forward to this full coastal road trip of Scotland, over 2,000 miles. It's my biggest adventure yet. I'm heading down to the Scotland-England border on the east coast, just above Berwick upon Tweed. And I'm going to be taking you with me the whole way, from all the good, the bad and the ugly, and what it's really like to live in a van through a Scottish winter. And not only that, but take on the biggest coastal route that I've ever done. It's going to be packed with dramatic coastlines, cliffs, castles, beaches, seaside saunas, and I'm going to be really doing my best to support local businesses. I'm going to try and buy locally sourced food and cook with it in the van, whether it's from farm shops, honesty boxes, just as much as possible to try and help promote buying local for visitors and travellers that are going to be visiting Scotland. I think it's really, really important to try and do that, to help support local businesses when you're visiting these sort of locations and these places. If you have any suggestions about must-see places, whether it's businesses or locations along Scotland, around Scotland's coast and the mainland, please drop them in the comments below and I'll do my best to squeeze them in if I possibly can. I've not got long to go. I'm going to spend the night at the border and get started and go north on the east coast from there. Thanks very much for watching. Join me next week for episode 1. I'm going to be bringing you along with me every single day of this trip. I cannot wait. Have a great week. Cheers again. Like and subscribe for more van life adventures.